What's up, everyone? Thanks for joining us for another Uno night. Sorry we've been away. Things have come up and we weren't able to record, but we are here now. Uh, and by we, I mean me, Kenny, uh, Channing, and Jamie, with by our screen names and whatnot. So, uh, we wanted to come by and kick it again and just kind of talk about gaming and streaming and all that good stuff. Uh, and chill for the most part with a game of Uno. Because who doesn't like Uno? Seriously, who doesn't like Uno?
For some reason, I guess.
Only when I'm winning.
Yeah, right. Only when I'm catching them dubs.
So this past week has been interesting. Well, first I want to say that I'm on vacation, and I am happy to be on vacation. I haven't been on vacation in like 2 years.
That's long overdue.
Yeah, so I'm glad to not have to do anything. I mean, I'm doing this stream because I kind of wanna, but it's not like a requirement or anything. And for the most part, most of my day has been rather chill. So yeah, it's been great in that regard. But beyond that, I got to do trying to catch up on some video games that I haven't been able to finish or play. Um, for instance, like I got the game Control. I know that was a big game last year, and I wanted to kind of to play it. And the Epic Game Store had it on sale not too long ago, so I picked it up. Figured I'd jump in. Um, Especially before like the new systems come, there's a bunch of games that I wanted to play. So I was like, yeah, let me go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
And also, family stuff and all that good stuff. But for the most part, just chilling, just chilling. What about you guys? How's your week been?
Um, Pretty good. Wasn't this week. This week, didn't really do much. But last week, I actually went hiking. That's pretty cool.
Oh, nice.
It was just family. Both my nephews, my niece. We were actually the only ones out there for like most of it. There was like a few people out there, but the place was so big, you didn't run into them really.
Yeah.
So I was like kind of just like walking by myself while they were walking ahead, and I had my phone on me and I actually had service. So since the kids were there, and they they they're young, they're like less than 10, so like 7, 9. I started pulling up predator sounds on my phone.
Oh my
I
God.
just random just clicks out of nowhere, and kids are going crazy. And I didn't say nothing for like a solid.
Bro!
I didn't say nothing for like a solid 10 minutes, so I had to show everybody. But it was great.
Do they even know what the Predator is?
Probably not. So
No, but just the fact they were like, "Yo, I don't see nothing, and I hear those sounds. What is that?"
Oh, we lost you. Hold up. Let's go back.
Can we just quit?
Yeah, that's
just
what
quit
I'm gonna
outright?
do. Yeah.
All right.
Technical difficulties. It's Ubisoft's fault. Hold up. Let me go back to classic match. So while I'm doing that, Channing, how was your week?
Can't complain. Really don't have any nothing too crazy going on. I've kind of finalized like what my stream schedule is gonna be, so it'll probably run from like Monday through Tuesday. I'm sorry, Monday through Wednesday. Probably like 10:30 till about like probably like 4 hours, or like about 4 o'clock or whatever, around there. I'm sorry, 6 hours. And again, it's gonna be probably varied starting off, but only gonna be the games that I want to play. The Steam sale started as well too, so my wallet is like looking at me like the Lawrence Fishburne meme, like what you would do, dumb. So I'm making sure I'm not going too ham on that. And I just started biking here recently, like less than a month ago. Something I used to do back in the day. This is before I knew like you, Kenny. This is like way back in the day, but
Word.
it's been fun so far.
Well, that's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah.
Got to catch up on a little bit of anime as well.
Oh, nice.
Speaking of sales, though, if any of you guys have Voodoo, they have the complete collection of Cowboy Bebop for like $6, the 4K version. And they have the full, what is it, Samurai 7? I think for.
Okay, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I think that's for I got it for 9.99 or something like that. So there's a lot of sales going on Voodoo. Just wanted to throw that out there for all my anime fans. Um, but yeah, like it's been a good week. Or this past week has been pretty good, and this week, like I
Good.
said, I'm on vacation. One of the things we want to talk about uh was some recent news, and that being Crash Bandicoot 4. I kind of knew this was, well, I didn't know this was gonna happen, but
You had a
I
feeling, a
I had a
hunch.
feeling that it was gonna happen based on the trilogy. I was like, if the trilogy sells well, I'm pretty sure we're gonna get a Crash Bandicoot 4. Same thing with I felt the same way with Spiral. If that did well,
Yeah.
um, I said the same thing with the because Resident Evil remakes always sell, but the really new remakes, like the where they really like overhauled everything. I was like, if they sell, we're gonna get more remakes. We just are, and they're already talking about,
Oh,
there's
Veronica.
yeah, there's rumors about Code Veronica, and I am for it. I am 100% for
Same.
it because Code Veronica was great aside from like some there's some targeting and control based issues.
Which they have
Um,
more than enough time to like they can correct that
that's
now.
what I'm
Yeah,
saying. Like a
that
Code
needs
Yeah.
to be
Veronica
fixed now.
now would be awesome. I want them.
Amazing, dude.
I really
Oh
want,
my
and I know they
Well,
had
it
like
depends on how they do it.
yeah. I also want them to make. I know they did the multiplayer mode on Resident Evil 3, but I really want them to make a new Outbreak. I was a big fan of that
Oh yeah.
game.
Yeah, that would be sick.
Yeah, man, I was a big fan of that game, and I think that the limitations that it faced before, we could fix
Mhm.
those. If
Mhm.
we had a Resident Evil Outbreak that was in a similar vein or design as the new Resident Evil remakes, where it's like right behind the shoulder and better graphics. There's so many cool things you can do with that type of game, and I'm not talking about the multiplayer mode that's currently on 3 because I think that's a little different. That's
Are
more
you
of
talking
a
about the resistance? That's like
Yeah.
a 1v4. It's like an asymmetric
yeah, it's
type
basically
game.
Fable Legends. If anybody who got to play Fable Legends before it got canceled,
Oh,
it's basically that. Um, and that's not what I want. Actually, I want Fable Legends back, but that's a whole other thing. Um,
Yeah.
I
but
never
yeah,
even got a chance to play it. I never got in.
it was really fun. Unfortunately, I don't think they could monetize it as well as they thought. And so, it's one of those things where it took a while to catch on, but it was such a good idea that we see a bunch of games doing it. So
Yeah.
it's unfortunate that the team got, I want to say they went, like Microsoft was like shutting down the studio and whatnot.
I think so. Yeah.
Um, but anywho, yes, I knew Crash Bandicoot was coming, and they recently announced that it's coming out in October, and I'm looking forward to playing it. I like Crash Bandicoot. I think that it's been a long time since we had a new platformer outside of Mario.
True.
That's not obviously not. I'm not talking indie, obviously, but
Yeah, you're talking about
um,
from
Yeah.
like major studio, yeah.
right. I'm looking forward to it. But what about you guys?
I
Yeah.
like
Crash
the fact
Bandicoot.
that it's like a direct sequel, so it's not taking any of the like in between games or any stuff like that. Like it's if you played the first three original games, then it's like they kind of just picking up right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like none of the party games, the Game Boy spin-offs,
Oh
the racing
God.
games, and any of those. Like not to say that those games weren't good, but it's pretty cool that they're bringing that franchise back because I feel like it's long deserved. Like Crash Bandicoot has definitely earned his spot to be. Oh, you dropped Kenny.
That was me.
Blaze. Yeah.
I dropped.
Oh, wow. You have an issue today. I don't know what's going on. You need to get your anxiety or something under control.
No, it's
Stop
Ubisoft.
mashing.
It's Ubisoft. You,
I think it's you. Like,
He said, "Stop mashing."
like stop
Oh
mashing,
man.
bro.
Yeah, I'm
But
glad
yeah,
it's
that's my
coming
take
too.
on
yeah.
it. Like, I played a couple of the Crash Bandicoots and I enjoyed it for what it was. I didn't go like super ham on it, but I do think it'll give me incentive to get. I know they're going to do a pack before the game comes out, especially for PC. Like they're going to probably do some port, or if not, I can just get like borrow one of my friends like PS4s or something and play it that way, or vice versa. So I'm really not missing out on that. It'll give me something to do. I could possibly stream. So there you go. That's my
Yep.
take.
What about you, Jamie?
Yeah. I just want to see how this is gonna make it work now. Like, are they gonna do like a platformer the way it was back then? I didn't watch too many of the trailers, but is it supposed to be like the same formula?
I mean, I think
Like
they're tweaking some things to be more modern, but
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be far from what we have before.
Yeah.
In a sense of like spin attacks, running towards the screen, away from the screen, side scrolling, uh, crazy boss fights. Like I think all those things are gonna be in there, but I think they're gonna add on to that.
Like, it's definitely something I'm definitely gonna buy. Like I was a huge fan of Crash 2. I actually didn't play Crash 1 until like last year. So I was I mean, I like both of those games. Warped, nah. So as long as they stay away from Warped, I'm good.
You didn't like Warped?
No,
He's like,
negative.
ain't happening.
Man, I don't
Oh my god, it's
I
too
don't
funny.
remember Warped too much, honestly. The
Yeah.
first two definitely, but not Warped.
Yeah, there's a reason why I don't remember it that much. Wasn't that good?
I mean, I know I played it. I just cannot. I just it
It's
just
probably
kind
just
of
one of those things you just pushed out of your mind after you finished it or started playing it. It's like I do not want to remember anything about this game at all.
man. But yeah, I guess if they stay away from Warped, then we'll be good. Um, but yeah, like I wanna. I'm curious though, like, cause I know like the Rayman games. Ubisoft brought out Rayman Legends and what was the other one? Rayman. Crap, I can't remember. But the more
Oh,
recent ones,
yeah.
they
Oh
were
man, it escapes me too. Yeah, I don't
they were
remember.
so good, like so good. Rivaling stuff that Nintendo makes, like really really good platformers. And if that's the treatment that we're getting, where they're taking something old and making it more modern or newer, um, I'm down. I'm down.
Yeah,
Like I don't think that we necessarily need more of the same, just because they re-released the remakes, the bundles or whatever, all over the place. I don't think we need that. I think we need something new, and but
yeah,
still in the vein of Crash Bandicoot, right?
yeah.
Um, the same thing with Smash, not Smash, Spyro the Dragon, because that sold well too. The trilogy that they had.
Reignited trilogy did it came
Yeah,
out?
Yeah.
I think it was
that
like in yeah.
not long
Me,
after Crash.
Mm,
yeah, me, I'm super hype. If they make another one of a new Spyro, I'll be super hype. That's a day one purchase for me.
And I
like
don't
Yeah,
mean
it'll probably put it on the PS5. Honestly, like something to kind of like keep under wraps until they're ready to like release. Maybe when like things go back to normal at E3 reveal or something like that.
I can
Because I
see
mean,
that.
it is pretty big. Like Spyro's not. It's not like anything that you want to take like lightly. It isn't like what's a PlayStation platformer that probably came out that a lot of us don't remember, but they tried to
Tumba.
make it.
oh, I got one.
Yes,
I got one.
exactly, exactly.
How about Gex?
Oh no, Gex was on the
Oh,
30. What was it? The Panasonic 30,
I think
3060, 3600 or what? I forget what it was
I
called.
think he was
3DO?
Thank
no.
you. The
Was he on the
3DO.
3DO?
Yes, he was
No,
on the
no, was he?
3DO. Yes,
Was he?
it was.
I remember playing it on PlayStation One. We're gonna
He
Google
it,
this.
it
It
was it,
originally came out on the 3DO.
I'll Google it. I'll talk
Yeah,
amongst yourselves.
yeah,
I'll
yeah,
Google it.
yeah. I put money that it came out on the 3DO.
Let me see. Let me see.
Panasonic 3DO.
Oh wow, it did. It came out on Windows. It wasn't even on
Yes,
PlayStation. Damn, what
yes.
am I
It was a
thinking?
PC game too.
Yep, 3DO, Sega Saturn. Yeah, it was. Yep.
Oh, it did come out on PlayStation. Okay, good.
Yeah,
'Cause,
you're not wrong. I never said you were wrong, but I definitely remember that game originally dropping on the 3DO.
I don't know if I was too young because I was 6 when that game came out. But man,
Oh, it's
that
possible.
game was dope as hell. I love that game.
I mean, I don't know about all that, but
I'm gonna let you have that. I'm
yeah,
like, yeah.
I put Gex right up there with Bubsy.
I was
Um,
about to say
Oh
Bubsy,
no,
dude.
no!
I was
Don't dis-
so about to say
don't
Bubsy.
disrespect Gex like
nah,
that. Don't.
Gex is better than Bubsy. It
I
is.
threw a Bubsy cartridge because I got so frustrated with that game. That game was triggering.
Oh my gosh.
Triggering.
This
Fuck that
this
game.
actually reminds
Excuse
me
my
of
French.
we were talking about with the PlayStation 5 reveal and how they were bringing back uh older franchises and whatnot, and what franchises we would like to see.
Oh,
Um, and I would like to see like Ape Escape again.
Oh
Like I
yeah.
had fun with that game. It was
That
a
game was
I
like that little game was low key fire.
yeah.
I
Like Ape Escape was dope.
I never had a chance to actually play
Bro,
Ape
really?
because
Man.
when I was younger, like my parents had like a rule; they would only buy like one controller a year, and that controller breaks, you ain't playing for the rest of that year.
Jesus Christ.
So I just never got a chance to buy the DualShock controller for the PS1.
Yeah.
So I just never got to play Ape Escape. My first Ape Escape experience was Metal Gear Solid 3 when they had that mini game.
Oh, they did have that weird mini game in the game.
Yeah.
I remember what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Personally, for me, what I really want to see come back, Twisted Metal.
They tried that once.
Dude.
Mm-mm. Now they can definitely do it now. So there should be no excuse.
Did
I
Twisted
really want to
Metal
see
Black
Twisted Metal
sold?
again. Not really.
Did
It
it
did
sell?
okay. It did okay, I think.
I think it was too dark. Like the original Twisted Metals they were dark but funny.
It's like yeah, it was like a dark comedy almost.
Yeah, like I think Black was like really serious. Like they had a
Yeah.
whole exorcism for the for the one person story. Like
Yeah, it was like
it
what
was
is going
crazy.
on?
Oh my gosh! And then like I
But
mean,
that
you-
would be the one I want to see back, 100%.
what about you, Jamie?
Damn, this. What do I want to see come back?
Dude,
I don't even have any.
Siphon
There's gotta be
filter.
something, man. Oh, you said Scythe, dude. Yes, but I feel like it's just we're
Actually-
not.
Actually, I got something.
Yeah.
Legacy of King.
Wow. But see that was that I would like to see a
Forgot
remake
about
of that. I would like to see a remake of the trilogy, and
Game was good, man.
in modern like trappings. Like I would like to see kind of like how they did with Tomb Raider and
Mm-hmm.
Resident Evil. Like I want to see a new Legacy of Kain.
Yeah.
Like that would be great. And I know like, you know, cuz people like roll their eyes like, you know, a remake, but no, like some of these games, the story that was there and like what you can do with modern technology, they would be pretty sweet. They would be whole
Yeah.
new experiences, honestly. Like totally new.
And sometimes, like, I mean, a lot of people always say that they don't really care about like graphics, but like graphic fidelity sometimes can like make or break a game as well too. Like if you have that flowing really well with like good gameplay, obviously good gameplay is always going to trump that. Let me make sure I'm being very clear. But like when you can do like get the best of both worlds, it's like, oh, it's
Yeah.
like yes.
Even if it's not like, I mean, we don't necessarily need anything like photorealistic, but like,
Oh
Um,
yeah. But you know, man, like true to what an artist's vision of that would be. Like I don't really want games to start reaching a point where it just needs to be photorealism all the time. Like be true to like the artist's vision. Like I heard freaking Oddworld is coming back for PS5. Bruh.
yes, it looks
Bruh.
good.
It looks so good. We haven't had an Oddworld game in how long? Like, oh my god.
Yeah, it looks
Oh
like a
my
remake.
man.
I think it looks like a remake of it. But yeah, Oddworld is just a. I mean, it's an odd world. It's a cool
Yeah.
place.
No pun intended, right?
Right. Like you know, even the Oddworld with the what was it? The dude who was like the bounty hunter.
Oh yeah.
I forgot what
It was like a
called.
spin-off.
Yeah, like even that was. I would like to see more of that. I was happy to see the new Ratchet and Clank. I thought that was cool.
Stranger's Wrath.
There you go. That's what it was.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the new Ratchet and Clank. I like how it's a sequel to the remake, as opposed to just a random Ratchet and Clank. I think that's cool, and I like the fact that they've revealed that he's not the only. What is he? A wombat? I can't remember what he was, but he's the Linux, whatever. He's the
Links.
There you go. He's the only version, because you know in the original he's like the last of his kind, but we
Mhm.
actually see a female character.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Pretty dope.
I'm curious if they're gonna bring back Jack and Dexter. Like, there's a lot
That would
of
be dope. Yeah, there's
Jack
a lot.
Dexter needs that needs to come back. If they make any game that's like Jack 2 now, that game
They-
would be crazy.
They need to change some stuff up though.
Wait, what?
They need to change some stuff up. It doesn't.
Did you not like Jack 2?
It was a fun game, but some things don't hold up as much as they do. Like as much as they did. Like for instance, playing I'm a big fan of Legend of Zelda, right? So one of my favorites was Legend of Zelda A Link to the Past. And I played it recently on the Nintendo Switch because you know you have that, you know, that you could download the old games if you have
Yeah.
it online or whatever. And I forgot how cryptic that game is. Like it's almost like you had to have played other Legend of Zeldas to kind of know how to solve some of the puzzles and whatnot. There's really, I don't want to say bad level design, but there's the puzzles in that game. Not all of them are logical, for lack of a better term. And um,
Oh my
it's one of
god.
those things where, like, as a kid, I don't know any better, so I'm like, this is just how games are. So I just gotta struggle.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I'll ask my friend, like, does he know how to do it or whatever, and like,
Yeah.
go from there. But playing it now, I'm like, what is this mess? Like, this is not.
Who thought of this?
Yeah, like,
Who thought this was intelligent design?
it's like no. And granted, let me preference this. Like, I don't make video games, right? But as someone who plays a lot, it's like, all right, there's a for instance, in order to you have to beat the dungeons in a certain order, and you get items and you use those items to get to new dungeons. But the way the map is set up in A Link to the Past, there's a lot of barriers, and in order to get past them, you have to flip back and forth between the light world and the dark world. Well, there's a puzzle that you have to solve in one world that starts in the other, and you have to use his rolling ability, because you like, as you're running you can roll and roll into things, and there's a place that you have to go to that you have to roll and knock a key, like a key item down in I think it's like a library or something.
Yeah,
And
off the top of the bookshelf.
right, I
Yeah.
spoke to everyone in the village, the dark world, the light world. I had no idea, mind you. I'm at a place where, because I've played it before and I've beaten it before, that it's messing me up because I want to go directly to the next area. Like, like if you played Ocarina of Time, it's like, okay, after you beat this particular dungeon, you go to the water dungeon. So let me go straight there. And it's like, no, before you go there, you have to talk to so and so they can unlock the door for you or whatever. It's the same thing with this game. It's like, before I can go here, I have to get this key. And I'm like, where is the key? Like, I've spoken to everyone. Logically, there's nothing that points me here. Um, and so I actually went to a guide, and it was like, oh, you have to go here, 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 and here. And I was like, who who would have
Thought of
thought of
that.
this? There's so many instances, and I'm sure someone in the comments is gonna be like, well, actually, if you talk to no, and it shouldn't be that
Exactly.
freaking hard. Like, like
Well,
stop it.
actually, if you were paying a little bit more time, you'd have
Yeah,
figured it out.
like no, like, and so I think there's some things that design wise that we've kind of like gotten out of, or like learned how to be better about. I don't need like uh giant arrows telling me where to go or anything, but
Yeah. But you don't need a 5,000 IQ puzzle.
yeah, like there's a difference between hand holding and like removing my hand. Like that's not
Exactly.
that's not what I
You're
need.
never going to solve this puzzle, and that was the point.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, occasionally I somewhat. It depends how I'm feeling that day, but sometimes I like that.
I mean,
Yeah.
don't get me. I think
like
everybody
obscure
can
stuff?
appreciate, like, everybody can appreciate a difficult puzzle, but when you want like cows, what was that robot game that they had? You know what I'm talking about?
What robot?
The robot with the cow. It's like an indie game, but it's like a psychological type game where the puzzles, like, you legitimately have to put thinking, like analytical thinking involved, or you are not gonna solve them. I forget what it's called. It's tile something.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. I know it was first person, right?
Yes.
Yes, I did not play that.
I think I know what you're talking about. I know the name of it.
Taos
Uh,
Principle, I think.
Yes, Tao's principle.
I should have
Jeez.
just said it. I wanted to Google it first, but
That
that's what I was
game.
thinking.
Good lord.
Oh
You will
man.
feel like an idiot. Dumb. Not smart. Caveman. Unga unga.
No, the only game that ever like actually did that to me. The first, the first Silent Hill game I played was
Silent Hill has some hard puzzles, bro. Don't feel bad. Them Jones
The
are not
first
easy.
Silent Hill game I played was Silent Hill 2,
Yeah.
and I was like, okay, I'm gonna put the combat difficulty on normal. I put this puzzle difficulty on hard. It can't be that hard, right? Man,
What? First of all,
Man.
why are you always skipping the first games? You just go straight to the
Yeah, like,
sequels?
what are you doing? That is weird.
I cannot help.
Like, what are you doing? I'm just gonna play the finale. I don't know any fucking backstory at all, but I just want to know what's going on.
What's messed up is I was about to say after this that I love Siphon Filter 2, but
See?
I never played one.
Exactly.
Horrible.
You're like a
Look, it
habitual like title skipper. It's like you
it
aren't even putting any effort to go back and play it.
look, it's not my fault that I
How?
haven't hit 30 yet.
Wait, how is it not your fault? You've played mad old games. You played freaking Final Fantasy 1.
Yeah. Exposed. You real quiet. You real quiet right now. So there's no excuse.
I'm just saying, like, come on. I need you to go in order.
Bro.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, like,
I'm picking
so
on this.
this actually, brings me to my next thought though, in terms of like development, games nowadays. I personally, and it could be because I'm older and I have kids, I don't have as much time as I particularly, as I had before, and which is saying a lot because I actually like I get paid to write about games, right? So like I have to play them for the most part, but like yeah, I don't have the same patience like I did before.
Yeah.
And beyond games being just too long nowadays, I don't think that we need grind anymore. Like as a concept, I don't think we need grind anymore. And I think that we've actually had the formula for it for a long time. If we
Mhm.
look at going back to Legend of Zelda, none of those games had grind.
Not really. I think the games were back in the day were much more rewarding because like developers knew that their patches weren't like a thing, so they had to put their best foot forward. Now it's like you remember the I don't even want to say it was like a meme, but the probably like a meme, but the DLC meme where it's like they show you the bun, then they show you the meat, then they show you the
Right.
cheese, and then eventually the
Well,
game becomes like what it should have been, and then they add on stuff later.
well, it depends on what you were playing.
Oh,
You
yeah, I was
play
gonna say
any
that too.
game,
It's like if you
yeah,
there's certain games, yeah, certain games definitely I can
yeah.
appreciate the grind too, because of how they're kind of set up, so to speak. But in terms of like I guess you could say like a story driven game or a non RPG or something like that, then I could agree. It's like kind of redundant. It's like you just want this is a cheap way to get replayability.
I don't even think you
Well,
need
it's not
grind in
always for that
RPGs.
though. Yeah, because like if you're playing a classic JRPG, earlier Final Fantasies, Chrono Trigger, blah 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 blah. The game is built on grind. It's supposed to. The whole thing is a power fantasy on getting stronger. It's the equivalent of like if you worked out for a year straight, you see the increase of how strong your character gets.
But
Some
I
people
mean,
like that.
like, okay, so well, first of all, Chrono Trigger was short compared to like Final Fantasy games. Um,
Depends on what you're looking for.
I mean, like if you wanted to find every single secret, obviously it's gonna be longer. But
Yeah.
I'm just speaking like if you want to just beat the game, right? It's shorter. Um, and what I found with playing those games was that if I stuck to the story, maybe did a side quest here or there for fun, but for the most part stuck to the story, my level was the appropriate level for the bosses. There was no need for grinding. So like I feel like the grind because what RPGs do, they ape uh pen and paper RPGs like Dungeons and Dragons. That's where they come from. So if we look at those tabletop experiences, they weren't grind. They weren't grinds, if you will. They were basically, you rolled this or you rolled that and you level up as you went. It wasn't like you had to go over here and kill like 90 cows before you can get to this particular level and then we can continue the game. Like it wasn't like that. Um, but that's how we translate it into video games because you can't the roll of the dice and all that is behind the scenes. So
Yeah.
we kind of have to do that like as you play you level up. But the thing is we could do that with the model that Zelda does. Now, granted, Zelda does it with items. Like, you beat this boss, you get the boomerang. You beat this boss, you get the grappling hook. And then that allows you to go to the next area. And hopefully, based on what you've been doing, you've learned how to use those items to defeat the next boss. That's kind of like how they do it, similar to Metroid, right? But what if we did that with experience? As soon as you beat this particular difficult boss, you are now level 3. And that level 3 can do all of these things until you beat the next boss, and then you're level 4. Like, I don't think you need, like, to grind. Like, the whole word doesn't sound like fun gaming time to me
Well,
anymore.
it just again, what I was saying is, I guess it does depend on the person. Yeah, grinding does suck, but if people aren't enjoying your grind, if nobody's enjoying your grind, then it just means you didn't do a good job of making your game. Because there's plenty of games that have it that that people love. Like
I think they don't
there's
know
only
any
a
better.
handful left.
Real talk.
I
I
don't know
think
about
they
that. Some
don't.
people,
I
some
think they
some
don't
people
know any
like
better.
their thing. I
No, 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 no.
mean,
Well, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. There are some people who like it. I think if we were to take those group of people and we split them in the middle, I think there's some people who only like it because they think that's what you should have. For instance, like the idea that video games should be long. Remember Hellblade? Not Hell. Was it?
Yeah.
Was it Hellblade for PS3? I can't remember, but the game was like,
no, Hellblade was PS4.
was it Hellblade? No, not Hellblade. Was it What's the game where it was kind of like Dante, Devil May Cry, but it was like for the PlayStation
Oh,
only?
Heavenly Sword.
There you go, Heavenly Sword. One of the biggest complaints, outside of the fact that it was like a great story, great gameplay, awesome graphics, was that it was uh, too short,
The game was short.
and people lost their minds. Um, but like the way we would combat that, or the way we could compare, is like, well, let's look at a Nintendo game. If we look at like a Mario like Sunshine versus like, I don't know, freaking Final Fantasy 7, they cost the exact same, but Final Fantasy 7 is way longer than uh, Mario Sunshine. But people still were okay with paying $50 for it, or $60 at the time for it. Like, for some reason we've been sold that a game isn't good if it's short.
Yeah.
And so because of that, people have it in their mind that it has to be this long. Like if you're not playing for 60 hours, it's a waste of money. Not knowing or not realizing that video games back in the day that were on like the Nintendo and whatnot, they were like $70 and they weren't half as long. Like not even.
A Super Nintendo game, you'd be barring JRPGs, but a Super Nintendo game for the most part, they were never more than like 30 to 45 minutes.
Yeah, if you
Like,
if you were good
yeah.
and you played all the way through, like a rental, you can beat it. A one night rental was a thing.
Yeah.
Like you could beat the game and be okay, you know. Um, freaking it, like even like when we got to the PlayStation, like Resident Evil and stuff. Like if you were good at the
Yeah.
game, you could beat that
It
in a
would
couple
you can beat
hours,
it, yeah. Mm-hmm.
and it was still a good game. But
Yeah.
now, if you ask someone who's under, I don't know, under 30, if a good game can be less than if a good game can be 10 hours, they'll tell you no. A lot of them will tell you no, and
Yeah.
that's unfortunate. And so that's what I think about grinding. I think people look at grinding as like this is just a part of the game. This is just what you do. You learn to love it. And I don't
Yeah.
think you need it anymore. I don't think we need grind. I think we're smart enough to get past grinding, because what I feel like it is a way of padding the game so that you play it longer. That's what I feel like it is. Um,
In some situations, yeah, that is definitely true. But then again, that's when you get between. There is a like a straight up bad grind, and there's a grind that's okay.
I think all
Um,
grind is trash.
I mean, that's your opinion.
Like
I mean, you got
what's a
people
good
playing World of
grind?
Warcraft, huh?
What's a good grind?
If you actually, if one, the fight is fun, or whatever you're doing is actually fun. Even
So
repeatedly.
so
Like it's the
that
same if playing 1,000 matches of Street Fighter. You're doing the same thing.
but that's not a grind. You're just playing the game.
Well, it depends on if you're aiming for something. If you're aiming for something, it's a grind. I'm gonna grind this character up to max level. I'm gonna get I'm gonna get God level or Tekken God Prime with Jack. I mean, you're grinding. The thing takes like 10,000 matches.
Well, no, like so this is where I disagree with, because we were talking about this off air a little bit.
Yeah.
In terms of what grinding is. If I'm rewarded for doing the basic game, like if I'm just playing the game and I get a reward, I don't think that's a grind. For instance, if we were playing, let's say we were playing, Resident Evil, and in order to unlock, Leon's third costume, we had to beat the
Yeah.
game. If I'm just going to play the game and I want to beat it, that's not grinding for that item. I just get it as a reward. So if I'm playing Street Fighter, because Street Fighter is a PvP, so the idea that it doesn't really end, right? You just keep playing until you move on to the next fighter, or you just stop playing. You just keep playing. And so, in that sense, you're going to play anyways because you like the game. So, unlocking that reward is just playing the game. I don't see that as a grind, personally.
And eventually, I think what you're saying is like you'll eventually get it anyway, fish through playing. It's not like you have to like set aside time to be like, all
Right.
right, I gotta play for fucking 5 hours a day to make progress on this versus like through just regular, I guess you say, nah, it's kind of the same thing actually.
Because if you think about it, like, whereas, let's say, MMO, right? You
Hmm.
are, let's say you want a particular item, but you want that item before you finish the game. So now you are grinding out that item before finish the game. That is a grind. But if you're just like, yo, if I beat the final boss, I get this awesome sword for like the expansion, then that's just playing the game at that point. That's not grinding.
Yeah.
And so that's why I feel like, but then even with that, like, right, so like we have the good grinds, like you feel good because you were able to accomplish something and you made it and boom, like
Wow,
whatever,
Kenny,
right?
you got screwed.
I
I
did.
did get screwed. I did get screwed. I got super screwed. Um, but like, let's say like, because a part of it is like feeling like you accomplished something, like you worked out, right? If we look at other games, a lot of that comes in the challenging gameplay. Beating a particular boss can be a challenge as well. If the
Like
boss is,
like Sekiro is a really good example, or Dark Souls are a good example of those.
yeah, I
Well,
mean, granted,
the thing
Dark
with
Souls
that
has
is
leveling.
once you beat the boss, you're done. You have no reason to ever go back to it.
Yeah, but you're
Or-
grinding until you get strong enough to fight said boss. You know what I mean? That's
Well, not
part of
really.
the.
A lot of it with that Dark Souls, Sekiro, and all that is you're basically building your skill. You're dying over and over because you're not skilled enough to beat it. And even though those levels do help, for the most part,
Until you walk
it's your
past the
skill.
doorway.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
for the
Walk
most
past the
part, it's your
doorway, get
skill.
stabbed in the ear.
You know what I'm saying? For the most part, it's your skill. Like you can beat those without necessarily grinding up levels. Those levels are, getting better or stronger in that is like, okay, it's cool, but the next boss coming up is going to hit you one time and you die. So,
Yeah.
what it is that through trial and error, you learn how to play better. And so when you get further into those games, even if you're fighting something brand new, you're better. You have a better chance of winning because
Yeah.
you, as the
Makes
player,
sense.
got better. But as far as like a grind, like doing something over and over and over just to get points, just to get an item, so then you can then play the game. We don't need that. It's padding to me. It's just not. And we have
The
plenty
thing
of
is,
games that don't do that and are successful.
yeah, but playing the grind should feel like you're playing the game. You like doing this enough where you're saying, "Screw it, I ain't." Where you're not saying, "Screw it, I ain't doing that." You actually like the game.
But like,
Like
so
Some developers some of them do a good job of masking that. It's essentially the same thing what Kenny's talking about. They just do a better job of making it like not seem like that. But
right.
Yeah,
in the grand scheme of things, it still doesn't take away the fact that like you're still probably heavily grinding just to like, okay, I got to get this before I can even attempt to do what I need to do to progress through the game, which is it can be somewhat frustrating, especially like he said, if you don't have the time to do it or time to play, it's like you now probably killed your interest in beating or playing that game anymore. You can just go play something else.
yeah. In a game that is story based and you're doing it to do the story, no grind shouldn't be in there. But if you just like the game itself, just look like if you take the games I probably play the most. The 3 games I probably played the most over the last 10 years is gonna be Final Fantasy 11. Finish the story on that. It's gonna be Marvel Heroes, RIP. And Diablo 3. I finished the story on those games a long time ago, long time ago, and I kept playing them. Like I got 2,000-3,000 hours in Marvel Heroes because I just liked the game. The whole thing was grinding at that point. I finished the story. I had every character maxed out. And same thing with the other games.
But I don't think that's grinding. I think that just going back, because
I,
okay,
I ran that dungeon like I want to say
so like, okay, so is this grinding? If
4,000 times.
I've beaten, let me ask you this then: is this grinding? I played Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario 3 like a thousand times. I'm not beating it ridiculously amount of times or whatever. Am I grinding or am I just playing the game?
Well, if you're just playing the game, but if you were to look at like a Super Mario 3 speedrunner, they're grinding the game in order to achieve a time. You're not really aiming for anything if you're just playing. You just like the game,
I don't think
so
that's
you're just
grinding.
playing. If you're speedrunning it, I mean, they'll reset in the middle of it because they didn't get a good enough time.
Yeah, but that's like
That's
if you
grinding.
lose and having to restart, but that's not grinding to me.
Uh, just think is a different opinion on the definition of grinding. Grinding to me is doing something repeatedly to work towards something.
Right, but I think that's absent of just playing the game. Because if that's the case, we're grinding right now playing Uno. That's what I'm saying. Like I don't
Well,
see.
we're not looking to achieve anything though.
I'm trying to
I'm,
win.
I'm
What you talking about?
You're not grinding 100 wins. You're just playing Uno. Other
Well,
than like playing Super Mario Brothers 3, and you're grinding to try to get good enough to achieve a 7-minute win
but that's
or
not.
something like that.
So then it's you're trying to improve your skill. But even then, I don't think that's grinding. You're just playing to improve. Like if we're playing a fighting game and I want to get better, so I go to tournaments or I go and you know fight as many people as I can. I'm not necessarily grinding. I'm just playing the game because the game is fighting. It would be different if it's like in order to grind, like to get the special costume for Ryu, I had to beat up like 1,000 cars. Like I had to go to a car mode and punch a car. Like that isn't playing the
Old
base
school.
game
Wait,
anymore.
Learn the
so
stage.
I mean, if you go to Mortal Kombat 11
Okay,
and you want to unlock all the brutalities for, let's say, Sub-Zero, I mean,
okay.
you gotta grind in order to get enough money to go to the crypt and unlock it,
You
and
don't
then you
have
gotta
to.
do the crypt quests.
You could just play the game.
There's
He's
certain
right.
things you have to
You can
do
just
in
play the game.
order. There's certain things you have to do in order to do it in a timely fashion without spending 10 years doing it.
Not necessarily.
That crypt takes a long time.
If
Have you
you
seen
if
those
you
crypt missions?
if you look up, I mean, because honestly, you can bypass. I did. I just bypassed it and like looked up what it was and then was able to do it. But
Oh yeah.
if you are playing the game, and that's what I'm saying, like anecdotal or like rewards that come from just playing, like getting ranked up in. I play Smite a lot. Getting ranked up in Smite to the point where like I'm getting to gold and diamond or whatever. I'm not grinding. I'm just playing, and I'm getting better as I'm playing, and that allows me to get further into the game. But that's not. I'm not particularly trying to do one thing. I'm just playing. I think the grind for me comes in where it's like the game could have been over. I could have achieved whatever it was I was trying to achieve, but there's this artificial roadblock that says I need to do this in order to achieve this, and it has nothing to do with my skill. Like fighting a boss that has a randomized drop rate has nothing to do with my skill. It has everything to do with luck. I don't need that. That's padding because when we look at, like I said, Legend of Zelda, you beat the boss, you get the grappling hook, you move on to the next boss. It comes down to your skill. Everything else is a waste of time for me. I can't, and even like when people bring up like, okay, well this type of grind, that type of grind, if you want to do this, I look at a bunch of games that do the exact same thing with no grind. And it works like really well. Like there's successful games that do that. So I'm like, what's the grind for again?
Well, if you take a game like Destiny, there's a grind in Destiny. You're doing missions repeatedly to get something. The whole Destiny is.
And that's that.
It's,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Destiny right now is a freemium game.
Destiny
So
2.
they
Yeah.
want you. Yeah. Well, I assumed we were talking about 2. Yeah, so Destiny 2 right now is a freemium game. They want you to keep playing in order to, the longer you keep playing, the more currency you're going to buy, or the more currency you have the opportunity to buy because you're playing longer.
hmm
So eventually one day you'll just say, F it, I'll buy it. Yeah, so they have to keep something in there to keep you playing long. If it was just DLC, people would just stop playing till the next DLC came out. And that does happen with a lot of games.
So they
But they
can't.
don't want you to.
Okay, but can't they do that with just like the other stuff?
Well,
Because
what
they do events. Like, do we have to grind, or can we just do an event? And once you complete the
each of
event,
those events has a cap. Once you hit the cap, you just stop playing.
so then you make another event. All they have to do is tweak something. I mean, we look at Halo and how they do the skulls, and that totally changes the game, and then people come back and play. Or we see that with Gears of War when they did the horde mode and how they changed things up for people to come back and play. There's ways
Mm.
of doing it without putting in needless padding. The only thing that I think that like they, that they that they would do, actually no, because that's padding too. I was gonna say a lot of the decisions in Destiny is to keep people playing, and that's not necessarily a, while it might benefit the developer, it doesn't benefit the player because I'm not doing anything worthwhile.
Well, it depends if it's worthwhile to you or not. I
I
mean, you can't.
that
I mean,
goes
it's
back to
kind of subjective.
my
Exactly. That's what
brainwashing.
I'm saying.
That goes to
I
back.
don't think it's brainwashed. And if
I
you
do.
because if you don't like the game, then you won't play it.
Or you
Yeah.
like the game so much that you put up with BS. Now we've done that. We've done that a lot. We'd like a lot because we've complained about our favorite games and how they do something really trash, but we go
Oh
ahead and do it
yeah,
anyways because we want to get whatever it is.
yeah.
Yeah, we've
Or you're
done that a
just
lot.
hoping they see the error of their ways.
Yeah, exactly. Like a lot of people still played Battlefront 2 even though it was trash with all
Yeah.
the loot box
Jesus.
stuff. But people still played it.
Yep.
Like it's but you can't tell me that wasn't trash. It was padding, trash, and it was to get more money by gambling. Like it was.
And that game could have been so good too. I had a star. Oh my god, I forgot the game, dude. Jesus.
Battlefront.
Starfront 2, Battlefront 2. Jesus.
It's good now, but it took forever to get there, and they had to take out
Yeah.
all that stuff, which also makes me think like, did you really need all that padding to get people to keep playing? Because they're
No,
still
they
playing.
didn't. They were trying to freaking. That was like malicious, like padding. They knew exactly what they were doing. I'm sorry. I have no empathy when it comes to EA because EA knows what they're doing.
Think about it.
They're not slick.
They took all that stuff out, and people are playing.
So they could have just did that from jump, and it
jump.
could have been one of the best fucking,
Exactly.
Battlefront games.
And we
But
can't,
you know,
and we can't even say like, oh look, we had to do all these grinding to get stuff and all this other stuff. They released new characters as the movies came out. They released new characters. It was the easiest thing to do, and people still played. You didn't need it.
nope.
They've proven you don't need it. I'm not saying that works for every game. I'm just saying it's a possibility. It's a possibility. There's games that are multiplayer. There's games that are social, where it in of itself is that fun that I want to keep playing. And then more content comes out, not necessarily padding, but like, oh, this is an expansion, or this is like a new character, or this is a new this. I want to play. Like you don't have to pad it.
Yeah. I think they probably need to come up with another way to incentivize gamers not to feel like either give you a choice, which a lot of them do, but also like you said, if you can eliminate the grinding aspect of it to where it's either negligible to where it doesn't really affect gameplay, it's like I said, it's like an option. I would rather for it to be an option than it's like something that's like guaranteed. Because that in itself could kill gameplay because you're just like, this is just too much, dude. Like, I don't want to sit here and do this. Like, no. That's kind of what happened with me with Division 2 because I got it on sale and I was going in pretty hard. And I knew exactly what I was signing up for when I did it. But once I got to a certain place, it was just like, this is no longer fun. This is like a second job.
Yeah.
And just to get certain items, because on top of you grinding, it was luck based. So that's like you double dipping at that point.
Yeah.
Like you're a masochist. You just like the pain, I guess.
It's trash. It's trash, bro. And then what they which is the funniest thing ever, they create a problem and then they sell you the solution, where they're like, you know what? Pay us this amount of money and then you can skip all this. Wait, what?
Pay to
Yeah.
win, baby.
Get out of here. Get out.
I can say any game that does that, I'm not a fan.
Yeah, that is some scummy tactics in my mind, dude.
Because when you have a needless grind that doesn't really do anything for you, and a quick solution is to pay to get past it, yeah, that's nah, I won't mess with that.
I mean, it makes you wonder, like, how needed is it? How like when you were designing your game, did you think that like this is so boring that people are gonna skip it? They're gonna want to skip it, so let me sell this skip so they can skip it. Like it doesn't matter. You know what I
Tell
mean?
this
Like
skip so I can skip it.
yeah, like it's that's what it seems like. I remember
Yeah.
EA did that with was it Shadow of Mordor? No, the
You want to know the crazy thing about each game you name? What company did they come from?
EA and Activision.
Mm.
But it's not
Which are
just
known
them.
for their
It's
predatory practices, but they're the most blatant with it, dude. They're like middle fingering you, like why they're doing it. They're like, we don't care. You're gonna be upset. We don't give a fuck. People are gonna buy this shit. They don't care. They do not care. They do not.
oh my
And
gosh.
the only way you can get EA and Activision to like learn the error of their ways is you got to be like, I'm not doing this. I'm not gonna buy it. And they're like, oh wait, no. We need that. We need that greenery from you. So we'll fix it. We'll look at Battlefront. We'll fix it. No, stop.
Well, that was
We'll,
Disney being like, you
we'll
don't get your stuff
And then,
together.
then you have people that don't. Then you have some companies that just don't give a damn.
True. And then what happens to their game?
All right,
People
so
are like,
that's
I'm
Call of
out.
Duty. You say that, they'll blink at you. Just like blink, blink. What? They
I
know
feel
they're
like
gonna
Call
stop.
of Duty, like people know at this point what they're getting themselves into when they purchase Call of Duty. So it's like I can't even use that as an argument anymore, especially if that's the point I'm trying to prove. Because it's just like one of those things. It's like it's like FIFA now. It's like a sports game.
Yeah.
Honestly, it is, and
Yeah.
it sells every single year. So it's like they're doing something right, man. So it's
Yeah.
like they've taken the FPS genre and turned it into a sport, which it kind of is in itself. If you want to talk about like esports, but that's probably like for another Uno night. We'll talk about that some other time. But it's that big now to where it's like I feel like if they don't pump one out every year, the world will end. Like that will be it.
You know, I
Like
was
Mark Wahlberg, Honey, like instead of it being Honeybees, like there's no Call of Duty this year. What are we gonna do? People jumping off buildings? Like what's happening? It will be over.
I do you think that you know, I was surprised. You mentioned Call of Duty. I was surprised that they were coming out each year after they started doing the whole battle royal stuff. Because you would
Compare.
like they make money off of that stuff.
I feel
And
like Battle Royale is gonna be turned into what Zombies is for Call of Duty. This is only for Call of Duty. This is not to say that BR games probably won't evolve in themselves, but Call of Duty will commercialize BR to where it will be included with every single game that they make. 100%.
why would that be? Why would I
Boy,
want that?
Because it's options. They Activision and I say Activision and oh my god, I was about to say EA. Activision and whatever the developer is, whether it be Treyarch or Infinity Ward, will now see it as like it's a one-stop shop. You got your search and destroy, you got your zombos, you got your BR, you have everything in this one game. Like, why do you need? You don't. Why do you need to go play something else? And granted, it will ultimately be up to the gamer's choice as to what it is they want. A lot of people don't like Warzone for the BR, you know what I mean? Because it's too fast paced, it's too arcadey, it's not real enough for them. So people will either still go play PUBG or some other variation of that, whether it be like Apex or whatever. You know what I mean? But they're in their minds, they're like, we can just shove everything in these games and just give everybody these plethora of options. Like, thank God they're not allowing you, like, they're not making you charging us for it because they very easily could, and then make up some BS press release as to trying to justify, like, oh well, you got a full game for $60 with multiplayer and zombos. We're gonna make you play for the BR. Like, thank God they made Warzone free because they did not have to do that.
They did.
It could have been like $20.
Well, for me, I guess to me, it was kind of like the reason why I don't buy map packs for Call of Duty. I know they don't sell them anymore, but they used to.
God. Yeah.
And I didn't buy them because I was like, why? I'm gonna play
Yeah.
the new Call of Duty when it comes out. Why do I care? You know what I mean? Like, and so like if you look at Warzone, there's battle pass, right? And the battle pass nets you like cosmetics and all this other stuff. It's
Mhm.
basically map packs because when the new Call of Duty comes out and the next BR comes out with it, are you gonna stop playing Warzone and just leave all the virtual stuff you bought? Like why would I
I mean,
invest?
I can't. All right, I see your point, but the cool thing about their battle pass that they've done now is that if you level it all the way up to 100, you make enough CP points to buy the next one. So there's no money leaving your pocket. So
No,
if you're legitimately like enjoying the game, you don't feel like you're being like bamboozled in that front
well no,
or investing.
what I'm saying is like, okay, if I'm the developer, I want you to
Hmm.
buy battle passes. I want you to
Okay.
spend money because it's a free offering, and that's how I make my money back. You buy cosmetics. That's how
Okay.
it works, right?
Hmm.
So let's even with the free, like if you beat the battle pass, you get whatever.
You have enough
From a
points to buy the
consumer,
next one.
right? From a consumer standpoint and from a developer standpoint, it still doesn't make sense. The developer still wants you to buy stuff, like they do, because that's how they
Yeah.
make money. They don't want you to be able to finish it. On the flip side, for a consumer, why would I spend money if the next Call of Duty comes out? I'm gonna have to start this thing all over with a whole new, character, a whole new, listing or bundle of virtual stuff. Like, why would I care? It'd be different if, like for instance, Fortnite. If you bought something in Fortnite, cosmetic, you've been
Hmm.
playing with it for however long, like years. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like it feels like it's yours because the game keeps going. Like, has anybody been back to Black Ops, the BR, since Warzone came out?
No.
I
I
mean,
mean,
I
some people.
haven't.
I'm
No,
lying.
there's
No, no, no. I'm
definitely
lying.
a
There
lot of
is
people
there,
that
there are
still
a lot
play
of
it.
people. A lot of people still play it. I'm
Right,
lying
but
when I
the,
say that's not
will they
fair.
keep playing it so after Warzone, the next one comes out?
If it's better, if it has what they like about Blackout, Blackout is that one that you're talking about. If
Right, right,
Blackout has what, if that game has what Blackout has that they're looking for, then yes, they'll 100% stop playing a game.
right, and that's what they want you to do. That's what they want because
Yeah.
you won't you have to pay again because you're not gonna want to play if you've racked up all these cool cosmetics, you're gonna want to do the same thing on the next one.
I feel like cosmetics are definitely like more so for the people that have like expendable incomes. Because at the end of the day, it's ultimately your choice if you want to do it. But I can get the argument of saying like, well, I don't really, understand the fact of like why they need to be there in the first place. Why don't you just kind of like either put them all in the battle pass and either have to, that can be a nice grind though. You know, like how people grind for like the Damascus skin, which is like apparently like the hardest skin to get in like Call of Duty history because of all the stuff you have to do to get it. Like some people like just doing that. You know what I mean? It didn't cost them anything to do that.
No, I guess maybe I'm not explaining it right. What I'm saying is, for Call of Duty's sake, it would be smarter for them to release a battle royale, like the best battle royale that they can, and then to have it included with every Call of Duty going forward.
I think
Because
that'll
then
probably be their plan.
because then people will feel invested. Like, I will spend money on it because it's gonna be here next year.
Yeah, I
You
think
know what
that's
I'm
their
saying?
plan.
Like, anyways, we've gotten off on a tangent.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, bottom line, grinding is trash. They need to get rid of that. We don't need grinding, and so far I have not seen a good grind um, that makes sense in the realm of gaming. Maybe like if you want your character, like you're fishing and you want to go fishing and you're doing something repetitive and you're trying to catch a fish. It's trying to ape reality, and so it's like this fish is rare or hard to find. All right, cool, totally get that. But the other stuff, nah.
All greens. I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have did that to you. I'm so sorry. Yeah, all greens. I should let you play.
Every green under the sun.
You literally did. I feel like such a scumbag. I could have fucking like prevented that from happening.
It's like, what? Just as long as you don't let the bot win.
Yes, that's what I was like. My whole plan. I was like, he don't have no green. And I'm like, what if this bot has a green? Then what does he have? Green.
So what are some games coming out that you guys are interested in looking to play? I know like Cyberpunk is high up there for all of us.
Yeah, well, if
Um,
it actually comes out, they still got time to delay it
See, I
again.
gotta leave. I gotta leave. I'm literally about to get off.
Good day, sir.
How dare you, sir? Do not say that. They push that game back in. I will do something to myself. That will not allow me to play the game.
I'm gonna just do some research, find out where they are, and just give them a good knock on the door.
um, Again, I had said initially that I was really looking forward to Godfall when the PS5 drops, but after watching Sony's little
Nah.
press conference, I'm kind of no longer invested in that game. But there was another game that they kind of showed that I was somewhat interested. I can't remember the name of it. I think it was like that car explodey game. I don't know. I like stupid stuff like that because I mean, it's just another. It's like a glorified tech demo. I know what it is. They're just trying to show off, like, look, what we can do now. We can cut cars in half. Look at these goofy Fortnite characters. This could have been Twisted Metal, but we're trying to sell games here.
Oh, that
So
Demolition Derby like game.
yeah, I mean, those are like my guilty pleasures, if I'm being completely honest with you. So that I forget what it's called, but I'm kind of looking forward to
It
that game
looks
as well,
fun.
too.
Like,
That's what I'm saying. It looks fun. It's like the Fusion Frenzy. Fusion Frenzy was a good fucking game,
yeah,
Frenzy was
and it was a launch game, but it was good. If you had 4 people over there, man, that game was fire. I don't care what anybody says.
yeah.
But
The Demolition Derby game does look fun though. It does.
yeah, and that's kind of what I'm looking for, man. New console, give me something that's gonna be like just dumb fun. You know what I mean?
I want
I
something.
would love for Ghost of what's
Tsushima.
Tsushima to come out on PS4, PS5. Oh my god,
It's probably
I'd be
is.
I'd be so happy. I feel like it will too.
Wait, it isn't?
They're
I
gonna
thought it was
port it.
already
No.
set.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I thought it was
Nah.
already set to come out on PS5.
Mm-mm.
Nah, PS4.
PS4, bro.
PS4. But I
They
think
made that
they're
very
gonna do
clear.
it just like they did The Last of Us 1 when the PS5
Like,
they
remake
remastered
it,
it. Yeah.
Remaster,
That's
yeah.
probably what's gonna happen. They're
But yeah,
saying
that's my game.
that, and it's
that's
it's
my
already supposed to be backwards compatible, so that might be the case in this situation.
Yeah.
What about you, Jamie?
Yeah, you already know what it is. I don't have to say it.
Yeah, he's like, you already know what it is. Black and
already
yellow,
know.
black and yellow.
You already know what it is. Oh man, so Cyberpunk is that? Well, no,
Oh,
no,
no.
Marvel.
Yes.
Marvel.
Yes, I don't. People, you know what? People are saying the game doesn't look great, blah, blah, blah. I honestly don't care. I'm about to take Mjolnir, throw it across the room, hit 19 people in the face, slam on the ground. I'm gonna do all of that. And if there's other characters, if like they do plan to release like a huge roster of characters, let's say there's like 40 characters, give me Black Panther. That's it. I'm happy. I'll be a whale. $10,000 a month. So give me the game.
Wow. Wow. You know that's horrible in so many for so many reasons.
Good lord.
I'm glad you're excited. I'm excited for the Marvel game. I just want it to be good.
Same.
That's
I
you
think
know,
that'd be like.
I'm
I'm not as hype as he is about it, but I mean, if it's good, I'll definitely get it.
I'm looking forward to playing with Miss Marvel. I'm looking forward to a different version of this story because honestly, this story has been done before. And I'm looking forward to the multiplayer aspects. I'm curious about what they're gonna do with the costumes because I know they said they're gonna be selling cosmetics. I like the fact that they're gonna be adding new characters for free. Because I mean, there's so many characters I want to play as, but I just wanted to play well. Just play well, be fun, and I will be day one. I will have it. Like that's it. I'm looking forward to any type of preview that anyone has or whatever. I would,
When's
you
that
know,
beta actually?
I don't know. You
beta for that
pre-ordered
game?
it. You pre-ordered it, right?
The beta, I think the beta's only on PlayStation though, and I'm not getting it on PlayStation. I don't care if there's like 7 people playing on PC. I'm buying it on PC.
Well,
Well,
I
you
have
heard it here first. He will not play it on a filthy console. How dare you even insinuate? He's not about it.
I haven't decided just yet. Mainly because they announced that if you buy it for either console, you get the newer version for free. So if you buy it for the PS4, you'll
Yeah.
get the PS5 version, and your save goes over.
Yeah,
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, it does cross save. So I'm like, well, yeah, I can get up for if I get the Xbox One, and I can play it on the Xbox Series X, and I get my saves, and it's cross-play. Like, yeah.
Oh wait, the beta is on PC.
Well, there you go.
Well, it wouldn't have been. Yeah, I was about to say. I feel like. I mean, yeah. Sometimes they're weird. I can't front it. Sometimes they do weird
Okay.
stuff.
So all right, where's my credit card?
I thought you already had it pre-ordered. Did you do like a collector's edition or something?
No, I wanted to, but the physical collector's edition I think is only on PlayStation or Xbox. Like it has to be physical. That's the one that gives you like the the Mjolnir keychain, a whole bunch of other stuff, Black Widow belt, a whole bunch of stuff like that. But it was like
Oh,
$250, I think, or something like that.
yeah, no.
Um, I wanted to get it. I just don't want it on console. Like if I could go to the store
Hell
and like
no.
buy it on PC, I would get it.
I would
Heels.
never buy a collector's edition that's cost that much for a game I've never played.
Uh,
Mm-mm. I have
I'm super
kids.
I'll just tell it what it is. Like I said earlier, I put like what was it 3,000 hours into Marvel Heroes. I want another damn Marvel game.
But that game was good. You know good and well you wouldn't do that for the Switch game that came out.
We don't talk about that here.
See? See? Just
Blaze
because it's
loves making
Marvel,
foolish mistakes.
just because it's Marvel doesn't mean is the best thing since sliced bread. Like no, like
But this has like gear and stuff. Did you see the gear? I want to pick up different things.
that. Look,
I want
You
to
ju-
beat somebody ass with regular Mjolnir and then beat somebody ass with purple Mjolnir. I need to do that.
I don't think it turns purple in the game though.
I'm just you don't know that yet.
No, it looks good. Like I said, it looks good. It looks like it could be fun. I just need it to be actually that before I pick it up. Uh, so I'm gonna be, I'm, I hopefully the reviews come out before it actually the game comes out. I'm not sure if we're gonna get a review copy, just because it's Square Enix is, yeah, Square Enix has been
They're
Square
like
Enix.
really picky.
They have at
Or-
times. There's
or-
times where they're giving out review code like candy.
Like
and
it's
then there's-
nothing.
Yeah, then there's times where
Probably
it's
they're like this game's probably trash anyway. So let's give out codes.
and then there's other
Like,
times. There are other times where they're like they pull it back away and like Dave Chappelle with his money, like no, how dare you? Like
yeah.
you asked for this code. Um, so I'm not sure, and
The
honestly,
remake must have been like that.
I don't think I want
7
to.
remake.
Oh gosh, I'm not talking about that game. Um, but yeah, I don't want to review it actually. I do want to get a review copy so someone at UFG can review it. I personally don't. I just want to play it. That's where I'm at with that particular game. And a couple and Cyberpunk too. Like I want to just enjoy it. Like a lot of times when I do the reviews, I still enjoy the game, but not as much because I'm looking so
Yeah.
critically. I'm like
Yeah, I
thinking
feel that.
about yeah, like as I'm playing, I'm like I'm okay. I'm gonna mention this in the review. Oh,
Yeah.
this stands
You
out.
want to take it from like just a entertainment
Yeah,
perspective instead of being like, well, I have to go in with like, some type of critical analysis or,
yeah,
sometimes you just don't want to do that because like, man, it's the same thing as like going to go see a dumb movie. Like, this movie's going to be dumb, but you just go for the entertainment factor of it, just accepting it for what it is, not taking it too far, just like enjoying it.
yeah. Like that's the only reason I go see Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
I already know it's dumb.
Hey, like I'm gonna go see it. I know it's gonna be dumb as hell. But
You
I'm
know
still
what?
gonna be
You
in
know
the
what movie I
theater.
saw? I
What?
went to see what was it called? 22 meters under or whatever. 22 meters down. The shark movie.
Now,
Yes, the
Oh
shark
yeah,
movie.
Mandy Moore,
No,
yeah.
the
was it Mandy
sequel.
Moore?
No, the
The
first one.
one
She
that
was
just came out. The one that came out like 6 months ago.
That was a
okay.
sequel,
That was
right?
a sequel. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
sequel. She's not.
Yeah.
In
Yeah, I went to see that in theaters. I knew exactly what I signed up for, and I was satisfied. I knew what to expect. I was like, I better see a dumbass movie with dumb decisions, and people better die. And I got that.
Well, there you go.
I have asked for more.
Oh my gosh.
Got what you wanted.
Said, people better die. Just when you thought it
It's
was
just
safe
no-
to go into the
nobody,
water.
nobody had a brain. Like
Oh.
between the 6 or 7 main characters in the movie, there was a total of about 3 brain cells. It was great.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man,
Well,
I'm weak.
that's been our hour. um, we ended on bloodshed. Yeah. So, thanks for checking out Uno Nights and chilling with us and just talking about stuff. Let us know what you think in the comments. If I'm full of it, I don't know what I'm talking about, or if you agree with me about grind. Because I'm curious because I want to know what you think about if no one told you that this was a thing. Like if this is your first time playing a video game, and you started playing a game and it was like the grind was bananas. Would you think it was okay, or would you be like, why are we? Because you know what's before we cut it, right? There was something interesting talking to people who don't play video games on the regular like we do. They ask questions that are really, really relevant or valid. Like, why do you do that? And I'm like, you know what? I don't know. Like, someone told me one day that this is what you do in video games, and so I've been doing it. But that's a really good question. Like just really, really smart questions that I think gamers are just like, we're just okay with. Like, we're just like, whatever. Like, we just got used to doing silly stuff and being okay with it.
Escapism mentality.
That's the whole reason,
Because
like,
it's
loot
like you're not even
boxes.
thinking about it.
Yeah, that's the whole reason why loot boxes is a thing, because we didn't question it. Remember when
Yep.
we had the thing where, like, if you didn't buy a game new, you had to have like a you had to pay for like an online pass.
Yeah,
Um,
Yeah.
and then gamers were
that
like,
that didn't last.
yeah, because gamers were like, why are we doing this? Like, yeah, it was silly. Anywho, let me know what you think in the comments. Definitely hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you know about all the content that we have going up on the YouTube page. Definitely check out UnitedFriendGaming.com. You can follow us on Twitter at U_F_G. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram now at KennyUFG. Um, you can follow Blaze at UFG Blaze. Just about everywhere with that.
Yeah.
Um, and Channing, you're simply
I'm
simplistic.
still simply simplistic on Twitch, and like I said, I don't really have anything else other than that right now. I
Yeah.
need to get my Twitter up and running, man. I'm gonna get on it, man, at some point.
Yes, we gotta do that. I was looking at some streams. We got some friends out there. Shout out to Tom Clancy. He's been doing an awesome job with his show. He mentioned it on uh not last week or not last time, but the time before that, where he was doing a show where he's gonna be interviewing different developers and stuff like that. And I peeped in on a couple of sessions, and they were good. They were good. He's rigged up a virtual reality like setup to where his head is like a TV, and like you can see his arms are kind of floating there. It's
Yo,
like a Tonight Show, and
yeah.
it's pretty sweet. Definitely check that out. That Tom Clancy on Twitch, definitely a good show. And check out our stuff on Twitch. You know, like Channing said, he is going to be starting up soon, and we want to support. We want to support. So what I'm saying, like, if you're a creator, check us out. Let us know who you are. We might get you a guest spot. We could talk about some of the things that you're creating. We have plans to have more guests. Unfortunately, with Corona and everything, it's hard to kind of schedule things and keep schedules because stuff happens. But we plan to have more guests, more creators on the show, so we can kind of talk about, well, just life for the most part, and also to promote our wares, if you will. But yeah, aside from that, thanks for joining us, and we hope to see you next time on Uno Night. Take it easy.